No Erik Karlsson trade, no Max Pacioretty leaving Montreal, but we do have a big trade. Tampa, New York hooking up with a 7-piece deal that's seeing Ryan McDonagh, JT Miller going to Tampa.
Yeah, it's a big one. And I don't want to say it saved the trade deadline because there were a lot of names, whether it was today or in the days leading up, with Rick Nash, Derek Brassard, just a whole slew of names. Basically, everyone we expected to get traded got traded leading up to this. Except for, like you mentioned, Erik Karlsson, Max Pacioretty.
The really big names.
And I wasn't totally sure they were going to get moved. But, yeah, big on Tampa Bay for really going all in. They were the best team going into this trade deadline. After all is said and done, I still put them right at the top of the heap. That being said, Winnipeg, Pittsburgh, Boston, Nashville, Las Vegas, San Jose, like everyone improved that is considered a legit contender.
With this blockbuster, Tampa's getting Ryan McDonagh to make their top 4. Hedman, Stralman, Sergachev, and now McDonagh. It's up there probably with Nashville's defense now in terms of the best across the league. And going back the other way, New York, a team that has already gotten rid of Michael Grabner, and you mentioned Rick Nash. Now they've let the floodgates open even more, and in return, they're getting Vlad Namestnikov, which is a pretty good player in his own right.
Yeah, New York came, like they sought upon this trade deadline, saying, listen, we're going to rebuild. They warned the fans.
They waved the white flag.
They followed through. Ottawa maybe went a little bit half-measured in the sense that really it was just Derek Brassard and a couple bit pieces here and there, like Dion Phaneuf, that got traded. But yeah, New York went full on with the rebuild. But Tampa Bay, like you mentioned, is there a weak spot? They've got a Vezina-type goaltender in Vasilevsky. They got Kucherov, Stamkos up front, Hedman, like you mentioned. And the only really weak spot was after you get past Hedman and Stralman, there wasn't a whole lot there defensively this year. Well, now you've got Ryan McDonagh, not just for this year, but for next year as well. So you got 2 cracks at the cup.
That was another storyline of this deadline, is the fact that a lot of non-rentals went. We saw McDonagh go. We saw Thomas Tatar go to Vegas. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. And then you mix in the fact that a lot of first-rounders went. And this was a deadline that's a little different than maybe in previous years.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know, if you're going to give up a first-round pick just for maybe a 3-month rental, that is a high price to pay. But if you know you're getting them for not just this year but beyond, I think a lot of teams were willing to give that up, especially when you look at some of the young names that were moved. Like Ryan Hartman, I believe, is only 23 years old. You mentioned Tatar, I think, is 26. So you're not only getting these guys under control, but you've got them easily in their prime and arguably when they haven't even fulfilled their potential.
And poor old Mike Green, he's stuck in Detroit. Ken Holland unable to offload him. He's a UFA this summer, so I'm sure he will find a home. But after 16 trades today, 31 players moved, and one of them was not Mike Green.